All right, y'all. So I'm gonna pretty much give you guys the rundown on what made me enter this trade this morning. Pretty much my confirmations, what the market showed me, and then how I managed the trade before taking my profits because it did go to TP3, which was 1,000 pips. You can see it right there. On 1,000 pips, we did have some back trades early on, so I'll show you guys my thought process on holding the trade and then those kind of things, right? So first things first, just ignore all of this because all of this was after after New York session. All of this is during Asian session, so just ignore all of this. Look at everything from over here on over, right? So first thing I want to do when I get on the charts is I pretty much want to see what has the market done in previous sessions, right? Now, since it was the beginning of the week, right, I only have one session to look at, and that's London session, right, which was the what from 3:30 until New York. So I pretty much want to just see that, right? So I pretty much just want to see, if price has made any highs and if price has made any lows, right? I want to look at that and I want to see and I want to mark it off. So right here, you see right here, I have this blue line. So this is not necessarily a low, but this is a low that I was going to take for a sell, right? And the reason I was going to take that for a sell because we see right here, um, on over, let's see, this is Monday, right? You see right from right here on up, we have an upward trend, right? But the upward trend is not really strong, right? It's not really strong, but what you do see is a lot of wicks. Now I'm gonna zoom in. Right? Very choppy, very choppy. Nothing today was an A1 setup, right? Even though this trade went 1,000 pips, this was not an A1 trade. And when I say A1, for me personally, an A1 trade for me means everything looks perfect, right? It looks too good to be true. And everything is just, as far as my confirmations, everything is hitting on every confirmation, right? Um, so this trade was not an A1 setup. Now, A1 setup to me would have been if price was right here and we had a lower high over here and it broke this lower high, right? And then it had another higher low up here, right? That would have been a A1 setup for me because that would have shown buying pressure. It would have shown that we're breaking a significant point and it would have shown another point to also enter, right? To reach another zone. That would have been an A1 setup for me, right? This was not an A1 setup, but it did confirm for a buy, right? And now you see all these wicks, like I said before, the previous session, um, which was London session, you had all these wicks down here, right? All these wicks, nasty wicks, right? Then you see this one big one. This is a big wick. Now, this is a huge one, right? And this is at 6 a.m. So I'm looking at all those wicks, right? So if you see all of that, that means that price is is rejecting to the downside. So when you see price rejecting to the downside, you know that 9 times out of 10, that price is probably going to push higher, right? You don't know how long it's going to push and you don't know how far it's going to push, but with all that rejection, right? It's rejecting, breaking to the downside. So it's probably going to go to the upside. So right then and there, I know that I'm going into today that I'm going to be looking for buys, right? So you see right here, this is 9:15. This is the 9:30, right? So you have the 9 o'clock candle, the 9:15, and then the 9:30 did break the 9:15 candle, right? And it did touch that zone a little bit, but it didn't break through. But like I said before, with all these wicks, with price going up, even though it's ugly, right? I'm not going to be looking for a sell. Now, if I did take a sell, it would have to have broken this point right here. But then again, like I said, this and it also would not have been an A1 setup. But like I said before, with all these wicks, all these areas of rejection to the downside, I did not see price trying to continue to the downside, right? And we were right because that's what the market was showing us. So all I was going to do was look for a confirmation, um, which was pretty much an entry point to enter the buy because I pretty much saw that we were rejecting to the downside. So I knew that we were going to be looking for a buy and a place to get in for a buy. So we do have right here, which was the 9 o'clock candle. It has established what? A higher low, right? So that's pretty much the only point right here. The only major point we have, um, as far as me getting in a buy trade, right? Now, another thing too, I'm also not gonna get in a sell because the 930 did break below the 915, but I'm not gonna get in a sell when a 930 breaks to 915 because what? Because the 915 it did break, or the 930, my fault. The 930 did break above this 915 candle, right? So that means if I'm going in off of structure, right? If I'm going in off of um what the 15-minute candles are showing me, a sell would be invalid even though it broke below because it broke above, right? So anytime it breaks above, and it's not a clear structure down, like clear sell candle or clear rejection candle. Then after that, a clear sell candle, and then another clear sell candle after. If it does not show that, I'm not getting in off of those kind of candles. Right. So that's why I didn't get in when the 930 barely broke the 915 candle. Right. I said I'm not getting in the sale because we previously broke the 915 right there. Right. We just didn't break the 9 o'clock, which was that established lower high. We didn't break that, but we broke that candle. So I'm just waiting for price to break this candle. Right. And then I'm going to get in. Now, based off everything, I know that what? I know that it's gonna be rough and it's probably gonna take a minute. So I'm not gonna over leverage, right? Because it's not an A1 setup. I'm not gonna over leverage. I'm not gonna try to place another re-entry, right? Because it's not showing us another entry point until up here, right? Or until it gets to the zone, right? It's not showing any other kind of re-entry point. So I'm just gonna stick with that one position, right? Make sure it's reasonable, and that's when I'm gonna get in. So that's what I did. So right then and there, we got in. Then you saw this next 15 candle, it did break above, which was positive. I'm not gonna say it eased my mind, but it was pretty good to see, right? And then we had some back trace, but I know that as long as we didn't break this 930 candle, right? We back traced, we didn't break the 930 candle, that we were gonna go up. And I knew it was gonna be an ugly trade, but I knew it was gonna go up, right? So I just held it. And I was able to hold it. Um, just because, right, I didn't go in with too big of a lot size. I didn't go in with, multiple entries when it wasn't any. Um, I didn't force the trade, right? And then I was able to hold it mentally, right? And another thing too, right? Anytime you see price like this and it's ugly, and then you look around, you look at US 30 and things like that. Now this is US 30 at the 930. Whenever you see US 30 drop like this, right? But it doesn't break anything on the hour chart, 9 times out of 10, that's just US 30 making a play, right? So US 30 can move 2,000, 3,000 pips and that not be the true move. As far as Nas, right? That not be the overall move for the um for the futures for that day, right? And what I mean when I say that is that usually the futures do what? They follow US 30's lead, right? But whenever you see US 30 have a huge sell-off like that, right? But on the higher time frame, it doesn't break any major points, right? You're not looking for sales. And I already confirmed that because of what we saw over here on Nas with the wicks in the previous session, and then also with how the opening formed and started out, right? So that's another good confirmation too, that when it breaks and it confirms for the buy, that we are probably going to buy in Nas 100. So, like I said in the chat, most of this today, it was experience. Even though the technicals were there, it was experience to be able to get in the trade, trust the trade, and hold the trade, right? So that's when time in the market is a huge factor. During days like this when it may not be as smooth. Like you may be looking at it now, right? If you didn't get in this trade early, if you didn't take this trade, you're looking at it now, you're like, okay, that's smooth, straight thousand up. But it wasn't like that, right? The first 15, 30 minutes, we were right here, we were back tracing, we came right here, right? We broke above, then the next candle pretty much back trace um would have made a lot of people close. They would have thought it was a rejection. They would have gotten nervous, right? Because price is already choppy, right? That's when experience comes into play. You have to trust your technicals and you have to trust what you've seen previously, right? And like I said before, whenever you have a huge sell-off like that with US 30, as far as when US 30 is supposed to lead the way, right? and you have confirmations that, if you're getting in a buy on Nas 100 that is gonna buy, and you have that huge sell-off on US 30, but it doesn't break any major points, that you're probably okay to hold that buy. Now, I'm not saying you hold that buy, longer than you should, right? Give it a regular SL, but you hold it. You don't close it early, when you're down 200 pips, when you're down 250 pips, right? Because you're nervous or because it's moving so volatile and so fast. You just wait it out, right? And that's what we did today. Experience played a big part. So pretty much setting up for the rest of the week. So today was a good day. And that was why I took that position on Nas 100 today. I hope that was very helpful for you guys. Hope you guys got a little piece of, how I think. Um, you got a view of, just some of the things that I've experienced in the market off of this call. I hope that this call helps you guys. And yeah, so pretty much, yeah, that was today. So we're gonna see what tomorrow shows us. I will say too that on the higher time frames, this is an area, it's a nasty area. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it, right? This is a nasty area. Now there are plenty of moves, but it's a nasty area, right? You have a strong zone right here, right? You have this this huge double top, right? Slanted double top, right? Which, signals a huge sell-off, which it did. And then you have these higher lows, which none of them are breaking the previous one, right? You have this one breaking it, but none are breaking above this double top in the zone, right? So you want to see something, you know, as far as a buy overall, you want to see something break this right here. You want to see something break that 21,960 area for a clear buy up or a major buy up, right? Anything under that, I'm not gonna lie, it's probably gonna be a little tricky. It's probably gonna be buying up and selling down, like you can see it on the chart. It's been buying up, selling down, buying up, selling down, buying up, selling down, with the sell-offs being the major moves, right? So, so yeah, so this is a nasty area. So just know that, even though it's gonna be some good moves, this is a nasty area, and I would much like to prefer to break out of this area. But you can see this is the hour chart. You can see even on the 4 hour, um, we're probably going to be here for a minute, right? You can see it goes back all the way to December, right? And it's almost mid-February, so that's 2 months. That's January and February right there, just like that. So a nasty area. Um, I'd much like to break out of it, but you can see what price is doing. It's buying up, selling out, buying up, selling out, and the sellouts have been major. So just pay attention for that. Going forward, if you're looking for things, you also have to know where you're at in the market, right? When you're taking trades, because you have to know what to expect, right? Not saying that what you expect is going to be right, all the time, but it gives you kind of an outlook. It kind of prepares you for the unexpected, right? We do have some major news this week. We do have Powell speak in 2 days. I do believe he is speaking tomorrow, and I do believe he is speaking, I think it is on Thursday. Don't quote me on that. I have to go check. I'm not going to check right now while I'm telling you guys this. You guys go check, do a little groundwork, right? Those will be very volatile days. I'm not worried because usually when Powell speaks, I make money. When Powell speaks, we make money. But you have to be patient, right? You have to be patient. And that's another thing. When the market is like this, you have to be patient and you have to be okay with walking away. I was gonna walk away today if it did not buy up. If you would have sold now, I would have probably walked away because that's not what the market was telling me, right? And if the market does go against what it's telling me, that either means one or two things. It's either going to be a huge collapse, which would be a huge money day, or it's going to be a consolidation day, right? And consolidation days for me means losses. So I try to stay away from those. So yeah, man, just pay attention to the market, pay attention to the news, Remain patient. Be okay with not making any money for that day. No money is better than money gone. So, like I said, you guys just remain patient. Take trades that line up. Take trades that line up, right? Don't do any guessing. And that's pretty much it, man. I hope this call helped you guys, and I'm gonna try to drop some more calls for you guys this week and see you guys at the top because the bottom is not an option. And I'm not gonna be in these videos because I did strain my back, so I'm having to stand up, man. So yeah. But yeah, so hope these calls help you guys, and remember, remain patient. Don't over leverage when the market is like this. When the market is moving side to side, as you can clearly see for 2 months, right? Even though we do have some big moves, you can see we're moving side to side. Do not over leverage, right? Do not over leverage. Make it through these kind of months. And then for the other months when we're not going side to side, we're going up or down. Those are the months you kill it, right? Not saying you can't kill it like this, but make sure you don't lose your accounts. Make sure you don't drain your accounts to where you can't use the same lot size, right? Make it through these months. And then the months where we're not going side to side, kill it. And that's how you stay profitable. But hope these calls helped you guys. And yeah, see you guys at the top because the bottom is not an option.